The gauge of any world city's fun quotient is almost always set on the exuberance of its nightlife. Nightclubs are where the action veers for all manner of locals and travellers, out on work or pleasure. In India's big cities, nightlife is evolving. To step out and socialise over drinks in the evening, especially on weekends, has become a popular thing to do, and the party animals are getting younger. But even as demand grows, nightclubs haven't kept pace, especially the exclusive, members-only kind.
To have members-only lounges and nightclubs, one would have to wait a decade. Look at something like Privé. Privé had to shut down. It was a members-only lounge. We were all invited with a specific card, and it was fabulous for the first month. After that, they had to host private parties and take people who weren't members because they couldn't stay afloat. And what happened? It shut down.
Members-only nightclubs are hot properties in world cities, catering to a niche clientele that wants to keep it exclusive. India has but a handful of them. LAP, set up by actor Arjun Rampal in Delhi, is one. It has the capital's jet set in party mode.
I think when you have a members-only nightclub, it's limiting in a tremendous manner. I don't think that will work, personally, because you need a certain number of people to make a nice evening. When you limit it to those many people, it obviously becomes way too predictable for somebody to experience. You have the same set of people, then they expect a certain way. You would have a varied mix of experiences if you allowed more than just members. Especially in a city in Mumbai, where a lot of transient people tend to come to your restaurants and bars.
The argument is that if high-end nightclubs in general are finding it tough to keep the business going, it's tougher still for the members-only variety. And the tight curfew time doesn't help in a city like Mumbai.
The timing is a huge issue, and all the club owners will agree to that, because we've been trying to fight it, but nothing's come our way yet. And if you're not open till at least 3 a.m., the purpose kind of falls. The business is going to be stagnant.
The nightlife business per se is an expensive one in India, with several costs involved on rents and development.
If you want to be conservative, you can spend 2,000 a square feet. If you want to go high-end luxury, you can spend 5,000, you can spend 6,000.
There's a fair amount of investment to be made in sound, light, acoustics especially, because there's loud music that is played in this space. We also focus on the flooring, the fixtures, the fit. We invest a great deal in finding the right musical talent, the DJ or the resident DJ of the nightclub. But broadly speaking, I think it's a fair investment to make for something which will eventually last for 3 to 5 years.
So to make it economically viable, a high-end nightclub in India needs to generate at least 50 to 60 lakhs per month in revenue just to sustain the business. Failure to do so has resulted in many upscale nightclubs shutting shop.
Especially with nightclubs, brand loyalty is very, very less. So you'll typically see when a new nightclub is launching, there's a lot of buzz, people are talking about it a lot for a few months, and then the novelty kind of wears off, and then there's a newer, glitzier version which comes up, and everybody kind of goes there.
The newly launched Kitty Sue is at the Lalit Hotel near Mumbai's International Airport. It took 12 crores to set up. Does it help then to have a nightclub within a high-end hotel?
A lot of perks that could be warranted from being in a hotel. For example, staying in the hotel. For example, the valet service, the taxi services, the concierge service, and as well as medical aid very quickly. So I think there is a safety net that basically comes with a nightclub in a hotel.
What makes Kitty Sue in Mumbai different from its Delhi counterpart is largely its decor and the specialties on the menu.
Kitty Sue is also known for its champagne offerings. Currently on the menu, there is the Dom, Piper Heidsieck and the Billikat Salmon Root.
We had Drapier, which is one of the biggest champagne manufacturers and a champagne label, did a special collection of one of Kitty Sue's favorite things, and they did a limited edition label for Kiddie Zone. At the end of the day, it is a nightclub, and beverage is what we're selling, and obviously we have to differentiate and have these limited edition bottles, and not just in champagne but even other beverages and cocktails, and keep our game up.
But apart from the drinks, clubs are laying on the charm to attract night revelers.
Music plays a very important role. We make sure that if there is a talent which is traveling through the country or happens to be in the country, we bring the person here and he performs for us.
The staff needs to know your clientele. They need to feel like, wow, we feel so important here. You have your regulars or your big spenders as such, and you have a table system where you have your own butler and you're not running to the bar. That kind of caters to the clientele, and that's what they're looking for by the end of it.
For me, privacy is a big thing, and a relaxed atmosphere in terms of design, as well as in terms of the entire look and feel of the place, the fragrance of the place. Everything adds to the sense of refinement, to the sense of class, and that's what tantamounts to repose.
Also nestled within the Lalit's nightclub is The List. The hotel claims it does a thorough profiling of guests before giving them membership.
It is like a club within a club. That is the sort of model that would be able to sustain itself, because you do, even if let's say the members only part does not take off, it's still another club.
And with the exclusive membership comes a set of perks.
Nightclubs also have these exclusive areas that make their guests feel special and privileged. For example, the members of The List have the freedom of space and ability to enter the club without queuing up. They also have access to a private bar, and there is also a pick and drop facility. Furthermore, the members of List have access to a special door that allows them to step in and step out of the club hassle-free at any time.
But all in all, does it make for a great nightlife to take on some of the world's wildest?
For a nightclub owner, our lives are 2 years, 3 years, and I don't see any huge growth until something's done about the timing. And if it is, then sky's the limit.
Nightclubs are upping their game. They are realizing that they need to reinvent themselves constantly.